All right, here we go. The Patreon bi-weekly one-off.
Yeah, Patreon bi-weekly one-off. And today, from Morgan, won the vote, or got liked, made to the vote, won the poll.
Nice, Morg.
Good job, Morgan. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Scream. What a great song. I love this video.
It's been a while. I haven't seen it in a long time.
And
What did Morgan say?
Morgan said that they wanted this song in particular because there's probably going to be a lot more Janet weeks, a lot more Michael weeks.
Yeah.
But this song kind of, can get both of them without having to do a whole week, and maybe it would get overlooked in a week because you'd want to focus on, Michael songs, Janet songs
it seems like this wouldn't make either of their individual weeks. So I agree. That's a great thought, Morgan. Very conscientious.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'd just say smart. I like to use words.
Smart.
Good word, like smart.
Good word that people know.
People think of.
All right, let's see.
Michael Jackson,
Janet.
You know what's funny is, thinking back, I just realized that this is, I think, the only song I really knew with Janet Jackson in it before we started doing all the Janet Jackson weeks. I really didn't know much about Janet Jackson before we started. I mean, obviously I knew who Janet Jackson was, but I couldn't have told you. If anyone said, like, name a Janet Jackson song, I would say, Scream with Michael Jackson. That's all I would have actually known.
Oh, well.
I think. So it's just fun to come back to this after watching all those Janet videos we have now.
It is a very different vocal performance from Janet.
It is.
Like, she's given that scream kind of vocal that Michael's known for.
Yeah.
It's great to hear her in that way because most of her solo songs, she sings very soft.
At least the ones that we've seen, yeah.
Very delicate and gentle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to hear her, like, rough it up a little bit and
rip
give it
into
to
it. Yeah. And I just love both of them. I love both of them. Just one of them's dancing in the background doing stuff while the other one's singing. It's excellent because they're both such. I mean, Michael's one of the best, and Janet is most certainly great at dancing as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're just. I don't know. It's pretty amazing what they both accomplished.
Yeah,
and it's just. It makes a lot more sense, like listening to these lyrics. Stop pressuring me. You know, like their lives, so much pressure.
So much pressure.
Always, all the time. Because you got to think about, like, both of them as people, their names are businesses.
Yeah.
Like, they are a living, breathing business. So there's, like, they both have managers. They both have booking agents. They both have bands. They both have probably like at least probably like 50 people whose livelihoods depend on their existence and them to produce content and song, music videos, go on tour, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone like wants them to keep going, because if they stop, then their career's over. Like then all these people have to move on. Also, as a manager, you get 20% of everything, so you want to take all the opportunities because you see that dollar sign. But as an artist, you could see an opportunity and be like, I don't want to do that. That's not me.
That is one of the things that's really interesting, and often I feel like forgotten, is like, even if they're not even trying, just the social pressure of the people around you needing you to continue to do what you're doing, and knowing that if you back out, you kind of ruin their lives.
Yeah, they can guilt trip you.
And those people can guilt trip you. It can also be incidental guilt tripping.
Yeah.
And then even more so if they're actually like manipulative and sneaky, like Colonel Tom Parker with Elvis. Literally just like forcing a drug addicted, like depressed man to continuously play like hundreds of shows a year until he died, which is just because Tom Parker had a gambling addiction.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, people in these positions like Michael and Janet, they're under an immense amount of pressure, and there's so much responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah.
Knowing that a lot of people are relying on you. A lot of like good people who are there helping you fulfill your visions and dreams. And so yeah, you would feel guilty, but oh man, that's tricky. It's too much for one person to handle. I don't think people should be this famous.
But a CEO can be replaced. You cannot replace Michael Jackson.
Right. Yeah, no one else.
Like you can have someone else be, you can have other big musical icons show up, but they'll never be that person.
Yeah.
A CEO could effectively do the same job at a giant company, and most people wouldn't even know that they came in. Like you said, it's the fame part of it.
Yeah.
You need the face on it. You can't. It's crazy.
It is.
The mind in the scheme. Just wanna go with different line.
Dang, that's intense.
That video is awesome. And the song at the end, I mean, man, they just get ripping. And, of course, the dance break. And their knees are going wild.
Well, they're just incredible dancers.
I love this setup, too. So they're just loosening up. Guitar. They're just... Dang.
Yeah. Baby. I love they're wearing the same outfit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's, man, what a unique experience, Michael and Janet Jackson. I mean, no one knows that. Well, it is interesting that they have this sibling bond inside of like this like unbelievable experience of being famous.
Well, that's interesting too. Is obviously they have the other siblings that were in like Jackson 5 and stuff like that, but Janet got really famous,
right?
I mean, obviously, I don't know how many people that are more famous than Michael Jackson, but Janet Jackson got very famous as well, so she at least could get close to the feeling of what Michael was feeling.
Yeah. Man, you know, I thought it was cute to see the sibling bond and them playing the little video game.
Oh yeah.
Just like quarreling a little bit. I forget where it was exactly.
How many music videos they'd make together? I wonder. How many songs they make together? Like,
I don't know.
Man, by like the mid to late 90s, they should have been making entire albums together. I would have loved to experience. Unless that happened, I have no idea.
In the mid 90s, Janet Jackson continued blowing up.
Yeah, and Michael,
like she had more and more hits.
Had kind of slid back by then. Because
it kind of seemed like he was taking a break.
I couldn't name a Michael Jackson
late 90s song.
Even late 90s, but most certainly not 2000s.
Yeah, well, he became a father. And he started raising kids and stuff.
Then he had his legal issues in the 2000s as well.
Oh, yeah, he was dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, and you know, he passed in 2009, so it's not like he really was around that much longer.
Wasn't any time. Well, he was going to go back on tour.
Yeah, he was all preparing for it.
I never realized this. I probably only ever saw the censored version. But when she flicks off the camera and Michael gives us a little fuck.
Oh, he gives a little... Yeah. Michael. Fucking with me.
Man, Michael Jackson.
Me.
What a badass.
I know. Who knew he could swear? He was always so radio friendly.
I know it.
Yeah. I don't know if I like this Michael. I just love the idea that there was anyone sitting there watching. I don't like this, Michael. I don't know about this. And all the screaming. I mean, the name of the song is Scream.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Anger. You got to express it.
Come on.
Could you imagine just like there's so much stress and frustration that comes along with being the most famous human being in existence? You know?
At least for a couple decades, definitely.
Like, yeah, the fact that they wrote this song called Scream, and it's all about just like telling people to fuck off.
Yeah, and all that.
Like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Them being in the observation room and the people looking at them through the glass, yeah. I love hearing Janet sing like that.
Me too.
It's so intense and fun.
Well, you know what? I was kind of thinking about this, like why she wouldn't have to begin with, and maybe she was weary of sounding too much like her brother and wanted it to be her own thing.
That is true.
But you do a song together, and it's like, all right, let's go. The song's
Scream. Who cares? Who cares if you sound similar and dance similar? That's stupid. You're both in the video, so just be freaking awesome.
But
I do get it. Yeah,
you know,
maybe that was
she
a
thought
aspect
that,
of
like,
it.
oh, it's just girl Michael. You know, maybe she just wanted to be her own thing and went a different way of singing.
I mean, especially like 1986, 1987. It would have always like restricted her if she was just girl the sister of Michael
Female.
Jackson.
Right,
the
and she
whole
wanted
time.
to be her own thing, which she was, and she is.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, good
Good
for her.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it is fun. It's still fun to hear it.
And people, I mean, that's just what people do. They'll
Yeah.
immediately jump to that judgment and conclusion.
Oh, it's the first thing you think about.
Like,
I mean,
she
their
sounds like
siblings.
Michael,
Michael
dude,
Jackson
she's not
was
even like
so famous, and when Janet's coming up, 1987, 1988, Michael Jackson is the biggest person in the world.
Right. But yeah, so I think it's special that they did this. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder how it went down. Like, hey, maybe they were just having a conversation about like being stressed out and like pissed off. Like, let's write a song.
Yeah.
Let's just get this message out there, because like if you're a super fan of either of them or of both, which I'm sure there's plenty of overlap there, but like you have this come out and like you hear this for the first time from your favorite artist, you're like, oh, it's not all what it seems it is. And then if you're a respectful super fan, then and in like an understanding one, then you'd recognize and maybe like oh, okay, well, like we need to treat people in these positions a little differently, because could you imagine?
I always
Michael Jackson, I always bring up the grocery shopping. That's like the most normal thing any regular person just does, is go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
He could never. He couldn't even like plan out a time with security guards.
He would
to
literally
just go walk through a grocery store. You just couldn't do it.
If Michael Jackson, when, pretty much from 1982 until the day that he died, if he wanted to go into a grocery store and go shopping, he would have to do like a full presidential motorcade type of situation.
Yeah.
Close the grocery
It would have to
store.
be closed down.
And only the people there are employees, and he would walk in and pretend to be a regular person shopping.
And then at that point, it's not grocery shopping.
No.
That's an event.
Might as well just build a grocery store on your land and go to it every now and again.
But you know what he probably could do? Well, no, I don't even think he could do this, because no matter where he is, there is someone with a camera that knows about his location and following him.
Yeah.
Because if you can just snap one pic, it could be worth thousands of dollars.
That's what's
For
wild
the news
about
media.
this stuff.
So like I was thinking, oh, maybe he could sneak out one day wearing like a hat, some glasses, or even
would see him
like
leave.
a fake mustache or something,
Yeah.
like real incognito, like you could have no idea, but someone would know. Be like, that's Michael Jackson wearing a disguise.
And there are plenty of famous people, like, if they go out to eat or something like that, like, they know they're probably going to have to shake a few hands and they're going to have to sign a few autographs.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, it's so much more sinister than that. First of all, the fans are blindly intense. Like, they literally break down.
They like pass out and just start weeping in front of him.
And then you have to add in the fact that there are people, like you said, vultures trying to make money off of just the appearance of a famous of a person of this level of fame.
Yeah.
And there aren't many on that level of fame.
Because in the 80s and 90s, even the 2000s, a news story was Michael Jackson was seen walking here. It's like, that's not news.
No.
That's just a man walking. But like literally that's what's on TV.
You just
Like,
change it.
Michael Jackson was seen leaving this restaurant with his girlfriend. It's like, all right.
You just change the name from Michael Jackson to a man.
Yeah.
A man walking down the street.
Yeah.
Ah,
Like that's literally what's like those like
very good.
E-news. Like that's
I know.
literally a
They're
segment.
there are not even like segments, or there are entire television channels about these people
Yeah.
in that way only, and not
Just
about
like-
them as artists. Like
Yeah.
MTV would have Michael Jackson's music videos on it. Like that's what his career is. He's a musician and a singer and a performer. But no, this other whole station is just about like the whereabouts and and
like
daily going ons of famous people.
What they were wearing when they walked down the street.
Ugh. I hate that
insane?
exists.
That's what they're talking. I mean, that's a small portion of what they're talking about in this song.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's not just one thing. It's like, man. I mean, that's why you build Neverland Ranch. It's
keep
the only
away
place
from
you can just
Neverland.
exist and just be you.
Like I said, literally build a grocery store that you employ And then like, and maybe you even employ extras to walk around the grocery store and say like good morning to you. Like, holy crap. Talk about freaking Truman Show.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
That'll mess with your head. To stay sane or just like not depressed sounds challenging. Like that would mess. Every time Michael Jackson is out in public, people are screaming, crying, and passing out. Like that's got to mess with your head, right? That can't be healthy.
And yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
Of course. I mean that's what's really intense. Just imagine being a person that if someone else came up to you and just by the sight of you became uncontrollable.
Yes.
Like emotionally uncontrolled.
Start shaking and
yeah. You'd be like, what?
I mean, at best, they just praise you.
Yeah.
At best, they just smile and they're excited and they just give you endless amounts of compliments.
Yeah. Which is also pretty intense.
Yes.
But even more so, that next level, I mean, you've seen it a million times, these people.
And everyone wants to touch you and hug you.
Yeah, the touching really freaks me out more. Like I remember watching a live performance of Beyonce, and she kneels down like on the edge of the stage and like reaches her hand out, and it's like, okay, reach the hand out, like high-fiving people, kind of touching hands, and so many hands just like grabs her legs and stuff like that. I was like, oh, don't touch her like that. That's so insane.
Yeah, people they get overtaken by the experience. Like, well, because think about it, if Michael Jackson was walking by surrounded by security and they're in a crowd and people are like reaching out, just like it's a story for a lot of people to be like, I saw Michael Jackson and I touched his shoulder. You know, it's like I made physical. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah, that's probably a very common story that thousands of people have. Like I saw him and I like put my hand on his shoulder. But then when you really start thinking about it, you're like, that's weird. You shouldn't do that.
The mania of it, like literally, like people are going into a manic state.
Yeah.
And the touching is it's just too much.
Yeah.
They're just
it
a
becomes
human being.
worship.
Yeah.
Like he's like a living God or something. But yeah, that's what the message of the song makes you think of. And I mean, I think that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to evoke those thoughts. But the song is great fun. It's very musically interesting.
It is.
There's so much going on, and I don't know.
I wish
it's
that
a really interesting piece. Like I don't know of any other songs that are like this. I mean, I know stylistically, other songs in the time, but like with the vocal performance and just like all the different samples and the guitar, I don't know. It's very unique.
I wish we could get a 4K remaster and recoloring of this video too, because some of the scenes are just so blown out.
Yeah, they're blown out.
Which would be that would be amazing to see. So I'm hoping for a future in which that exists.
Yeah, me too. I love how androgynous Michael is in this too.
Yeah.
Like he's wearing the same exact outfits as Janet, and he's got long hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. My last question, and maybe for whoever's watching this at minute 24.
Yeah.
What is that screaming sample? Is that from anime? Is that from this?
Yeah. Is that
the picture they keep showing?
Yeah, or is it just him screaming?
Because they keep showing that little this guy. Like, is it from this anime cartoon? I'm assuming
Maybe.
it must be.
Yeah.
Because they keep showing it.
All right.
Anyway.
Yep.
All right. Dang, that was a good one.
Thank you, Morgan. Patreon.